Well, we have one final presentation for you, and it's only right that we head to the final frontier, is it not? We've seen plenty of references of space throughout all of the presentations throughout. Well, today it is space, the new Emirate. Could space be a new Emirate? Where will the UAE and the GCC as a whole be in the exploration of space? Well, one man who can give us the answers to that is with us here today. Currently the Senior Director of Space Engineering Department at the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Centre, since, in fact, its establishment, and what an extraordinary couple of years they have had. In his role, he overlooks the development of all of its projects, DubaiSat-1, DubaiSat-2. He's also the project manager at the hugely successful Khalifa-Sat, the first indigenous satellite to be developed right here in the UAE, thanks to Emirati talent. He's a believer in the strength of the nation's human capital and leads the team tasked with innovation and advancement of the UAE's space technology sector. What a pleasure to wrap things up with a true visionary. Please welcome to the stage from the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Centre, final GX talk of the afternoon, Amr Sayegh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And many thanks to my previous colleagues. They managed to keep you guys all here. I feel now obliged to bore you to leave this room eventually. So this presentation is focused on what we do in space and how the UAE is taking space as a mainstream for the future. Just to put the things into perspective, humanity started, I don't know, scientists argue tens of thousands, 60, 70, 100,000 years ago. And only recently we managed to leave Earth. Having said that, we have to always know, and this is an argument that I believe in, we as species, humans, are the most intellectual, most intelligent, and the most capable of doing things in the whole universe. And having said that, we still have only 620, a very small, fractional, handful number of people that have left our planet, Earth, and went to space. And if we look at the numbers, again, scientists and theorists say number of humans that have lived all these years, close to 100 billion, and only 620, 625 humans managed to leave Earth and go to space. And even a smaller number, 12 of them, reached the surface of the moon, and none of them went beyond. So with all our might, with all our intelligence, with all our creativity, innovation, we only managed to achieve this now. And this tells us how challenging going to space is. And this takes us to the next topic, which is, yes, it was challenging to send humans, but we never stopped. We have thousands and thousands, more than 50,000 satellites that are now orbiting Earth or going even beyond. And it's getting even busier and more interesting. And that's why we believe space is the way for the future. The industry itself, the space industry, globally is valued at $500 billion as of now. But that's only the space industries. But if you go deeper inside, you will see, for example, navigation, the GPS. The GPS is the Global Navigation Solution System invented by the US, and now it's being followed by many other systems around the world. The Galileo from Europe, the GLONASS from Russia, and the Beidou from China, and so on and so forth. And these kind of solutions bring huge economical benefit, huge impact on us here on Earth. And for example, the GPS itself, it has $1 trillion impact on the economy only in the US. That goes to many other sectors: farming, agriculture, health, mobility, aviation, and so on and so forth. 1 trillion from one system only. And that kind of example goes to the other system. For example, telecommunication, today you can talk to your family, you can watch the World Cup on an airplane, live stream to you, all through communication systems that are in space. And this go even beyond that. You do your banking service while you're in the middle of the desert, you can, or the ocean, and you can do many things because space provides you with this globalization, let's say. And the other thing is, biggest advantage of space is that it's borderless. There are no borders. Nobody will stop you. You can just only launch your satellite or your system in space and just operate it. And you can go all the way around the world. It's a huge advantage that is given to people, given to us, given to companies, company owners. Instead of focusing on a small geolocation, you can go beyond that. You can go to the whole world with your services, with your solution, and benefit from having customers from all over the world. And that does bring a huge challenge for governments. So today, there's so much discussion happening around the world to focus on how to manage, how to coordinate, and how to govern space itself. So the United Nations started this with so many treaties that have been signed with many countries around the world to manage, let's say, space debris, which is a huge issue, to manage the level of, space collision. If a satellite goes to space, hits another satellite, that's a disaster. On Earth, we're talking speed. Speed is what? Driving your car, driving your, fastest car, Ferrari or whatever. You can go up to 100, 200, 300 kilometers per hour. In space, it's 25,000 kilometers per hour. And if that object hits another object, that's a huge disaster. And it's not so much congested now, but it's becoming congested. And access to space, thanks to our friend, Mr. Elon Musk, has been extremely easier now. And it will continue to be even more. So access to space and having space systems needs to be coordinated. There is a huge effort on the United Nations level, on many other organizational level globally, to make sure that as we go forward, what we do is managed well. And a small example is, if as a government, if you have the telecommunication system on the ground and the broadband and so on, you can have proxies, you can have servers that are managed well in your country. Yes, of course, some other systems or IT geeks, they can come up with solutions to go across these proxies and so on. But if you have a system in space, nobody can stop you. And that's where we need regulations, where we need a lot of discussion between governments to manage these kind of innovative solutions. However, that needs to be managed. So what are we doing in the UAE? Why are we looking at space? The goal is to be a leading nation in space science and technologies. And that's just a general name. But there are many reasons why we, aside from what we have just mentioned before, are interested in space. One thing is space is extremely inspirational. And maybe you have seen this from the previous speakers here. And you have seen this all over the world. I can say this, at least for myself. When I'm working in space, I always feel young. I'm still young, but I always feel young. Even if we grow old and old and old and old, when you work in space, when you work in these STEM, let's say, engineering, technologies, you always feel young, and that's important for us. And we can see that. It's inspirational. In 1 month, we can easily have 2,000 students coming to our center in Dubai and visit us and learn and engage with us and engage with what we are saying. it's a hugely inspirational for this generation, for the older generation, and the future generation. That's why the UAE is always looking for space as an inspiration for STEM and so on. Second thing is, it's economically beneficial. Today it's not, maybe in the UAE, but globally, we've seen the numbers, $500 billion. But in the UAE, we want to make our economy based on knowledge, based on technologies developed here in the UAE. And space is leading that. As of today, we spend more than 22 billion dirhams on our projects. And very recently, we've announced 3 billion dirhams of investment from the government for the economy that is based on space solutions. And we can go into different directions. One of them is engaging in existing industries and companies in our projects. Second one is we can always attract international companies, international giants that are doing work in space to come to this region, to come to the UAE or the region to build the capacity of space economy here. And third, which is the most important one, is SMEs, entrepreneurs. These are the ones that we want to really attract and take us further in space. You know, recently, one of the studies shows that one of the new space driving investment is asteroid mining. You know, there is huge, let's say, technological gap between being able to make this a business with the technology that we have today, but it has the potential to grow rapidly with the advancement that we see. There are, I mean, if you look at these asteroids flying, it's like money flying in space, and you just need to make sure or to get the technology that will bring it back to Earth. And it's valued in trillions. So these kind of ideas, these kind of entrepreneurship ideas that will eventually drive the technology that we develop to take us further. A third one is space is international, as we mentioned just now. I mean, no matter what happens, no matter what geopolitical issues or concerns or, let's say, wars or so happening around the world, space has always been the reason why all the countries work together. And that's seen even today with the situation that we have between the West and Russia. As of today, we still have cooperation between Russia and the US in sending astronauts and bringing them back from the International Space Station. So space always a strong political tool to bring all the players around the world on the same table to work for the benefit of humanity. And we'll end up with the last one. Space is challenging. And that's why the UAE wants to go there. We want to develop solutions that will help us in food, water, and energy on Earth. This is the same situation that we already have here on Earth. And that's why we have one of their programs, Mars 2117, which is focused on finding these solutions. You know, whatever challenges you will find in getting water on Mars, that is what we now, as of now, we have as a problem here, not only in the UAE, in some other maybe developed countries also. Finding water is challenging. So the solutions that we will develop to find water, to extract water from the soil of Mars will help us live better and better utilize the resources that we have here on Earth. I mean, and the kind of research that is done is very unique. One research is using the microwave, simple microwave that we have on our kitchens. That kind of technology is being now tested to extract the water from the soil on the lunar surface and on the Martian surface. And this one will give us the freezed water on that soil. And these kind of technologies is what we want to implement to serve us here and get resources here on Earth. Food, I mean, the agriculture challenges that we have in Africa, in many countries around the world, it's similar solutions need to be developed and need to be developed in a very harsh environment. The Martian atmosphere is hectic. There's barely sunlight there. And the soil there is extremely toxic. But we want to grow plants, we want to grow different agricultural plants there. And if we do that, and if we succeed in this kind of technology, definitely we'll be able to do something here on Earth. Energy, as of today, I mean, the oil price is fluctuating, but most of us, I mean, most of the countries, most of the industry depend on oil, but eventually new energy fuels are coming out, and that's what we need. I mean, we need to sustain Earth. Whatever we do in space, we have to come back and look at the benefit for us here living on Earth. That is why the UAE is looking at space, and we hope to do that with the international cooperation, and we hope to do that for the benefit and the future of us and our generations to go. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best, and have a good night.